they are a good team to dominate, not just win. And they felt lost to me last night. I know that's not incredibly articulate, but the body language of Kyler Murray seemed off to me. He seemed frustrated. They seemed disorganized in key places. It felt like, you know, there was some discussion last night of the game about not kicking the field goal there at the end when they're down 2 scores. They go for it. They don't get that one as well. It just seemed off. They seemed out of rhythm and not organized. And to your point, the play you show at the last play of the game is just sort of a mess. I'm like, what is everybody set? What's going on? And he seemed confused as well. So I don't know. They're clearly a great team and have the potential to play really well. It just seems like in these key spots, they're just not quite there.
I know. It's the burden they carry, and the burden that Kyler carries is he has to be as good as Brady and Rodgers this year. Like that, it's tough. The Cardinals, to me, they're brown belts. You know, in the martial arts world, just not ready for that black belt yet. And there's nothing wrong with a brown belt. You can kick some ass. Like, you know some stuff. But there's weird stuff with them. Not only the road stuff. They lead the entire NFL in fumbles. They didn't cause any turnovers last night. Kyler, in these big games, he's a young player, man. God, he is so talented, and it's breathtaking at times. He makes bad mistakes in big moments. And again, they have trouble winning at home. You see the Packers record at home. You see the Bucs record at home. Clean, flawless. And if the Cardinals want to get to a Super Bowl this year, that's a whole different discussion. Now, if they just want to get in and, oh, we won a wild card game, good for you. But if you want to win a Super Bowl, like, this is not going to do it. Like, you can't drop that pass on 4th and 2. You'll lose to the Packers or Bucs. You can't throw that interception the rest. It's over. You make one mistake against those teams, and it is over. So it's almost a roundabout kind of compliment to them. We're talking about the Arizona Cardinals, who have had their struggles. And it's like, you guys got to be perfect. It's a great standard that they have reached because they have a really talented team and a great record. The problem is Bucs, Packers, they're going to beat that team, and they know it, and we know it. So they got time, but they got work to do.
It takes time to build trust, right? It takes these big wins under the bright lights. We have trust in Tom Brady. We have trust in Aaron Rodgers. We want to have that trust in the Cardinals. They can't keep blowing it in big spots. It was really disappointing to see. That said, you look at this, when most teams commit 2 horrendous turnovers that result directly in 14 points and then have a critical drop that costs them even more points, they're killed. They're done. Like, the Rams should have blown them out at that point. This team, even with all those brutal mistakes, Brian, they have the ball with a chance to tie it up in the end. So to me, talent level, talent-wise, are they in the conversation with the Bucs and the Packers? I think so, because I think when they're playing their best football, they're just as scary as the Bucs. They're just as hard to defend. They're not one-dimensional like a lot of other teams in the NFC. When they're playing, when Kyler is on and at his best, so talent-wise, yes. But this wasn't like they shot themselves in the foot situation. They only punted once. They scored. They moved the ball up and down the field just fine. The talent level is crazy. But it was these mistakes that they make in big spots. Play clean football. Can they do it? I don't know if they will. So it's tough, but it's about trust to me. And they have to prove that we can trust them, and they did not do that.
The 2 best players last night were James Conner and A.J. Green, who were 2 acquisitions who they were leaning on heavily. And it's like those 2 guys have been there in big games. A.J. Green's been to the playoffs a bunch. James Conner has played in big games. Kyler has not. So it's like, if we're doubting Kyler, it's just because we haven't seen it on the NFL level yet. And we want it. We've seen him throw that beautiful pass against Alabama in a bowl game. But I think we all just want to see Kyler have that great game in primetime and be like, that's who I am. Hasn't happened yet.
Peter, take a swing at the Cliff thing. They're not winning at home. Cliff says after the game, it's a quote, as of now, I probably want to lose every game and play on the road every week. I don't even know if he's being sarcastic, but like, you know what makes him tick? What's going on?
I don't know. I think they're trying to figure it out as they go. It's a strange oddity. That's a statistical oddity.
I know.
But at some point, it's not an oddity, and it's just who you are. You don't win at home.
I was brushing my teeth this morning. We were on our call, and I was thinking about this, and I was just thinking about, like, why is this happening at home in these big moments? And Deion, like, who's the person, to your point of what you're saying, you sort of talked about on the call too, the sports psychology aspect, the one that's in there like, we're okay, we'll get through this, we can. I don't know who that is. Is that Kyler? I don't know if that's Kyler. I don't know if that's DeAndre Hopkins.
Larry Fitzgerald ain't coming through that door.
That's what
J.J. Watt's probably not taking the field either.
This is the person I was thinking of. Like, I wish they had Larry there, not to discredit anybody else, their leadership on the team, but to sort of galvanize them in that way of like, focus, we got this, we can come out of this and not make those mistakes. I don't know. I think I don't know who that is. It Cliff? I don't know.
We'll see.
Yeah. I haven't seen it yet. All right, Garofalo joining us now. Mike, let's check in on a couple big-name QBs in the thick of the AFC playoff picture. What is the latest with Lamar Jackson? And let's talk a little Josh Allen as well.
Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, two guys that we saw in walking boots within the last couple of days, kind of like Kevin at the wedding in Niagara Falls where he's got the 2 tissue boxes on his feet. Forget what happened to the shoes. Maybe Brian can tell us. But yeah, both of them working their way through some injuries that have their status for this Sunday very much in question. Let's start with Lamar Jackson. John Harbaugh saying that it is not a high ankle sprain. That's good news. Harbaugh also saying that as of right now, he's banking on Lamar being out there. But let's see how the week goes on this one. I mean, obviously, this is something that's going to affect his mobility. Can he be effective? Can he protect himself? All these questions that we usually hear about these quarterbacks, so we'll see about that. Now, Tyler Huntley played really well coming in for Jackson, so that's going to be a factor as well. Can we continue with Huntley and feel like we can be successful with him? Let Lamar chill. As for Josh Allen, he's considered day-to-day, according to head coach Sean McDermott, who said he's, quote, has a chance. You don't love hearing that. Has a chance. But, you know, Allen's trying to downplay it. McDermott thinks that Allen's in good spirits and going to do whatever he can to get ready for this game on Sunday. We shall see about Allen's status. If not, it'll be Mitchell Trubisky against the Carolina Panthers. I think both of these guys, Jackson and Allen, their status very iffy for this week. But